Hey everyone, welcome to Interior Design U. And I just first of all want to say a huge thank you to everyone that is taking time out of their crazy busy schedules to share a portion of your day with us. We're just super thankful and super stoked that you are here with us. Um, so today what I want to do is just talk to you a little bit about obviously interior design, but what I really want to do is share with you our number one guiding principle that we use in residential interior design. So if you stick around with us for just a couple minutes, we're going to get to that point and I will share that with you. I feel like I need to start off today with just like a huge disclaimer that says, I am not a professional webinar presenter. Talking to the computer is honestly like super weird. And I much prefer talking to people. So please give me a little grace when I use words like and stop to gather my thoughts. I really want to share just like an authentic experience with you and have it feel more like a conversation. So I have no script. We're just going to go through and I'm going to share, a little bit about my career and my heart and passion for interior design and why I chose it as my career. And then, we're also going to come back and we're going to share this number one rule for design and hopefully have some fun or, get you thinking along the way. All right. So why us? Why listen to us? Why talk with us? Why care about what we have to say? So just like a quick overview, I've been in interior design my entire career. So I have now spent, I'm a little embarrassed to say, more than 25 years in the design field. I've worked really in almost all aspects of interior design, except medical. I've done a few doctors' offices, but never really large medical. So I've done a lot of residential, commercial, landscape. Just really, design is so broad. That's one of the great things. You can kind of reinvent your career all the time just by taking on a new client. So we get to learn a lot all the time. But I've worked in retail, office, just lots of areas of interior design. I've also spent a lot of time as an interior design instructor and then as an interior design department head at a college here in my city. The way I got into interior design education is because my family moved from the East Coast here to Oklahoma about 10 years ago. And after that move, I took the job as an instructor at a local college. And then I did that for a little bit, and then I was promoted to department head. When I was department head, one of my jobs obviously was to write the curriculum and create the curriculum for the department. And in that, we also launched an online segment. So I got to develop, write, everything 100% for our online curriculum. So I have a ton of experience not only in interior design, but in teaching interior design and in online education. One of my favorite things that transpired in my design career is that I've gotten to mentor just hundreds of students who are just like you, who want to make a difference in people's lives through their environments. So there's just a couple of my projects that I've gotten to work on during the years. So the first thing I always ask people is, do you love design? Like, are you passionate about design? If you are taking the time to listen to this crazy presentation, then odds are that you love design, that you are already passionate about design, that you think about design. Some ways that you can immediately know if interior design is maybe a good fit for you as a career is if you are always evaluating design. And by that I mean when you go out to dinner, do you notice the restaurant, the decor, the lighting, the environment that they've created for you? And then is that environment just as important to you, in your opinion, of the restaurant as the food? A foodie only cares about the food. That's it. That's all they care about. They don't care about where it's coming from. A designer cares equally about both, maybe even more about the environment. I will definitely go somewhere where I feel comfortable and I feel like I don't know, an interesting environment to be in to get a lesser cup of coffee than I would to go get an amazing cup of coffee in a subpar environment. So to me, that they have to go together. Another way would be if you're shopping. The store designer dictates how we travel through the space in a store. So do you notice those traffic patterns? Notice the things that they're trying to highlight, that they want us to buy? Are the displays pretty? Things like that. So if you do stuff like that in your everyday life, you are meant to be a designer. So just a couple other like little highlight things. Do you spend your weeknights watching HGTV and thinking about how you would redesign the space? So maybe it's different than what you see the designer doing on TV. Do you think about like, oh, if that were me, I would do XYZ instead of ABC? Do you spend all of your free time scrolling through Pinterest? Do you spend your weekends doing DIY projects or searching home goods for perfect throw pillows? Not gonna lie, that part of the job never goes away. I literally just did that today. We were unsuccessful, so the search continues. Do you want a career that you love, where you can be creative and feel proud of your completed projects? Do you want the freedom to work from anywhere for anyone? And do you want to learn how to earn $5,000 per month working with just a few clients? So, why become an interior designer? My why, everyone has a why. You have to have a why. If you don't have a why that's motivating you, then sit down and come up with it. Like, why do you want to become a designer? So everyone's answer is going to be different. My why is because I wanted to change my life by changing the lives of others. I wanted my career to make an impact on people and the community that they live in. And you can do the same. Every design job changes the life of the person who uses the environment. So whether that's someone's living room or whether that's, a hotel lobby, you're changing someone's environment, which is changing the way they feel. We're also just so lucky that, we have the opportunity to do that our career changes or has an effect on the memories that people have in their homes growing up. It changes the way people feel when they visit your city. It's just exciting. It's a great career to be in if you want to leave a legacy. So this project here, the Hippodrome Theater, is how I learned that lesson. I'm just going to be honest, when I was starting out my career in interior design, like when I was getting ready to go to college, all of my friends were heading off to college and, everyone's taking on these enormous, meaningful careers. So, they're heading off to be doctors and vets and youth pastors and worship leaders. And people would ask me, what are you going to do, Rebecca? And I would say, oh, I'm going to be an interior designer. And I felt selfish, or I felt like my career choice was frivolous. And I wish someone would have explained to me in the very beginning how design changes everything. So I learned that lesson. This was a project early on in my first job. I was at a structural engineering firm, and I was the facilities planner there. And when I joined that firm, this project was already underway, so I just really touched the tail end of it. But what I saw was a community that was completely revitalized because of this one project that happened there. So it was really in an area of the city where, people weren't living in that area any longer. There were no jobs, there was no retail, there was no restaurants, obviously no entertainment like this theater. So when this theater was renovated, everyone was excited about it. You're not really sure what's going to happen. But I remember one time after this project was completed, I was downtown at dinner with my husband. We were driving home and we drove past this area. And at first I was like, dude, where are we? And then I realized, like, oh my gosh, we're like literally across the street from my project, but I didn't recognize the neighborhood any longer because, all this time had passed now. And all of a sudden there were new restaurants, new revitalized housing. There were new offices, new jobs. All of these things came back to this community because of this project. And that's when I realized, like, what we do as designers makes a difference. And, we get the fun part of getting to see our work making other people feel happy or creating jobs. So it can be, again, on a really large scale like this project that went on to change this community, which then helped, the entire city. There are new parks. There are places for kids to play now. All of those things happen because someone chose to invest in the design of this building. So that's my why, just so you know. Now that you've learned a little bit about me, I would love to share with you my guiding principle that I use in interior design. So I always say that this rule is the guarantee that you will have happy clients. And I know that sounds like a really big swing, but I promise if you follow this rule, you will not miss. If you just have it in the back of your brain, use it as your mantra. I challenge you to go through your own environments, your own home, your own space, and apply this rule and see how you feel about your space. Because I guarantee if you have a living room that you're currently maybe unhappy with, like it's just bugging you, and you don't know why, because it's beautiful, it's pretty, it looks nice, but it doesn't feel like your space. This rule is how you can take good design and make it personal design. And personal design is the design that gets you hired again and again and again and gets you referral after referral after referral, because you will have, I'm not kidding, the happiest clients on the block. So my magic rule, what is it, right? So for me, design has to be 3 things. So every element that's in a space, and by the word element, an element is the thing that you can pick up and touch and move. So those are your accessories, your furniture pieces. It's not necessarily your wall color. It's not your walls. It's not the flow. So this is just the stuff that you can put your hands on, okay? You can pick it up and hold it. So everything that enters a space for a design to be successful has to be functional, beautiful, and personal. So at a minimum, it has to be at least 2 of these things to have a place in my home or any of my clients' homes. So when you are working with your client, if you keep these 3 things like in the back of your brain, and maybe you find a way to tweak it a little so it works best for you, totally fine. But if this gets you thinking in this direction, then it has done its job. So what you would want to do is, obviously you pick up a picture of your client's child. Is it personal? Yes, absolutely. That's super easy. Of course, it's personal. Is it beautiful or functional? Well, it might not be. Maybe the frame's not beautiful, and maybe, it just needs a little help to elevate it to be 2 of these things. The other thing that keeping this design rule in mind helps you with is having conversations with your client. So instead of just being like, do you like this vase that you have on your mantle? You can then, and you get a yes or a no answer. We want to avoid yes and no answers. So if you pick up that vase off the mantle and say, tell me about this piece. Why did you put it in your space? Is it personal? Is it functional? Is it beautiful? And you start having a conversation with your client about the objects that they've chosen to surround themselves with and why they're important to them. Like, they will feel connected to you. And once they feel connected to you, you are their designer for life. I promise. I promise that you will do their whole house. You will do their kids' whole house. Like, when their kids have kids, they're calling you. I promise. Because you have taken the time to have a true, authentic relationship with them. So just always remember functional, beautiful, personal. Two of those things. Sometimes this can be a little bit tricky when you're doing more utilitarian spaces like kitchens. So we have a utensil holder. So is it personal? Probably not. But is it functional and beautiful? Yes, it has to be. It can't just be beautiful because then maybe, it doesn't fit utensils. And it can't just be functional because it's something we look at all day, every day on our counter. So it has to be both functional and beautiful. Always two. It can be something that's personal and functional, also fine. But it can't just be one of those things. So this is, I promise, if you use this theory when working with your clients, first of all, it will give you confidence in having conversations with them. It will give you confidence in what to put in the space. And it will also give you confidence in what you need to remove from the space. So it makes the editing process so much easier for you. In residential design, it's really rare that you walk into a space, unless you're staging, which is a completely different ballgame. But it's really rare to walk into a space where people have nothing. You're always working with something. So the key there is to find the things that are meaningful, that matter to them, that you can make beautiful, that are functional, and move forward with those items to create your design for your client. But everything should start with every element. It needs to be functional, beautiful, personal. It will also help you tremendously when you are shopping for your clients, because you can't just have a space full of items that are functional and beautiful, because then what happened? There's nothing personal there. So your client may love the space. It may be gorgeous, like drop dead, put it in a magazine, gorgeous. And it may be functional, like it makes sense. But if it is not personal to your client, then honestly, you haven't done the job that they hired you to do. Everybody needs their space to feel personal so that they feel at home in their home. So a couple other quick things that kind of they'll kind of give you they'll shed a little light on how I teach, how I think about design, and then you'll be able to tell if what we do is a good fit for you and what you want to do in your career. So again, every element, functional, beautiful, personal. I will say it a million times for forever. It's easy to forget. I have a really good friend who's in the middle of redoing her space right now because she put in items to fill it up when they moved into a new home. And guess what? It's not personal, it's functional and beautiful, but it missed on the personal. So we're in the process right now where she's going back through and we're taking out the stuff that's just stuff and replacing it with things that matter and mean something to them as a family. Okay, so the next thing we want to know. So all successful designers have to know these 4 things, right? These are just sort of 4 guiding principles, if you will. So the first thing would be taste. Everybody, we want to have our great personal style, our great personal taste. We want that to be why people hire us. The most important thing about taste is, yes, you have to have an exquisite taste level, but you have to check your personal style at the door when you walk into a site. It's about your client. It's not about you and what you like. So you have to be able to set aside your personal style and work for your client. The next thing is trends. And trends to me is almost like a swear word. Kind of hate it. But you have to stay current on trends, if for no other reason than so you know how to avoid them. So the last thing we want is to hire, the last thing your client wants, I should say, is to hire a designer and then they have to rehire you again in 3 years because everything that they did was trend related and now it's dated and old and tired already. So we have to find the balance of creating a completely timeless environment where maybe we add trend in accessories or pillows or an area rug, things that are easy to swap out and replace and refresh a space without having to completely redesign a space. You want your clients to invest in pieces that will last them forever. The next thing is our principles and elements. I cannot say enough about principles and elements. So we have to learn them and we have to use them always. Principles and elements are honestly one of the most important things that you can learn as a designer. They are the rules that help us evaluate whether a design is successful or unsuccessful without using our personal taste. Super important, you gotta know them. The next thing is communication. So you can have amazing ideas, but those ideas only matter if your client can understand them. So we want to have good, verbal skills, obviously, but we also have to be able to communicate visually with our clients. So that means we have to be able to show them what their design will look like. It doesn't mean you have to be an amazing artist, but it does mean we have to learn how to communicate visually with our clients. Okay, so our courses are designed for you. And what I mean by that is that they are not designed to meet the criteria of an interior design association. It's not what they think you need to know. Like, these are designed specifically to get you motivated and moving in the right direction so you can quickly take on clients and be successful working for them, and they will be happy. We have taken out, I don't want to call it the fluff. If you could see my air quotes, we've taken out the fluff in the interior design courses. We've taken out the things that are not pertinent for you to know to get started. There's so much information that you could get overwhelmed with it. So we have just created a core class that will help you quickly get started in this career. So our core classes are 6 modules, which are delivered to your inbox weekly. You can work at your own pace, meaning you get them weekly. It could take you 6 months to complete the 6 modules. You could do them in 6 weeks. It's completely up to you, but they come to you once a week for 6 weeks. There's also additional classes available outside of our core classes. So the core class is designed, it's a bundle of classes designed to get you moving, to get you started, to get you working in interior design. Anytime you want more information about a certain subject or any additional subjects, we have those available as well. So our 6-module core class value is about $11,000. These 6 classes are designed to make you money fast as a designer. So again, we're just pumping the gas to get us from 0 to 60 as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible. One of the things you will learn as an interior designer is that time is money. So the more efficient and effective you can be with your time, the better. And we're doing that right from the start with your classes. The first bonus that we'll add is an additional module, which means you can pick one additional class, a value of $2,500. So we'll throw that in as an additional bonus for you. That means that if you wanted to learn more about something specific, maybe window treatments or kitchens and baths, things like that, we have you covered. You just get to pick which one you would like. Bonus number 2 is our online membership. So we have exclusive access to our membership site. This is where you can share your projects that you're working on and get peer and instructor feedback. You can ask questions, locate sources, network, build community. This is where we post things that are happening in design, new projects, new products, new trends, all of those things happen in our online community. A 3-month membership value for that is $147. So if we take our core classes, our 1 additional class, and our online membership, we have a total value of $13,647 there. The core class, the 6 modules, what we're going to look at is going to be our fundamentals of interior design. Those are going to be our principles and elements, how to use them, live them, learn them, love them. We're going to have a module on lighting. Lighting design is honestly where we see a lot of the most mistakes happen by young designers. So we're going to spend a lot of time learning how to do lighting calculations and making sure that we have adequate lighting for all tasks and environments. Materials and specifications. So we're going to learn a lot about objects and basically how they relate to the space that they're in. So what is seat height? What is table height? What is bar height? What is counter height? All of these things that we need to learn so that we can shop effectively for our clients and eliminate mistakes in the ordering process. Space planning. So we're going to learn about how to place objects within a space so that people are comfortable interacting with each other in the environment. It sounds crazy, but furniture dictates how people behave. It's where they sit, where they go, where they walk. So we'll learn all of that in space planning. We're going to have our drawing class. So we will learn how to draw things by hand, but we'll also learn how to use free online resources and manipulate them to do what we need them to do. And then we'll talk about design through the ages as well. One of the most important things you can do as a designer to quickly work with your clients is evaluate the architecture of the space that you're working in. So I evaluate the exterior architecture when I arrive, and then obviously the interior architecture of the space that we're renovating or just designing. But those clues, being able to read the architecture, will help you know how to best design the space for your client. So, what if all this course did was help make your dream career? Would that be worth it to you? Would it be worth it to take something that you've wanted to do for your whole life and turn it into a job where you make money? What if all this course did was give you the skills to land 2 to 3 design clients a month? Would that be worth it? And let's just, a base client is a minimum of $14.99, honestly. Like one room, one design, a la carte, out the door is $14.99. So would being able to, acquire 2 to 3 clients a month be worth taking the course? And then what if all it did was give you the confidence to work with your clients? Would that be worth it? A lot of people have great design intuition, but they don't know how to properly convey it to their client. So if all this course did was give you the confidence to work with them successfully, would that be worth it? So typically the webinar bundle that we do is our core classes and one additional class, and we usually offer that at $14.99. I'm not going to do that today. So today we're also going to add our third bonus, which is one room in a box. So I know I mentioned that one of the most important things in design is to work efficiently and effectively. So every season I create room in a box for sort of like the 3 main trends that are happening in design. So what I do is I pre-design those rooms, give flooring options, wall color options, basic window treatments, basic furniture options, and then how to add accessories to create that current trend. But basically what this does is it helps you be decisive when you're working with your clients. It takes the guesswork out of it because you have a starting place. You know exactly what you're looking for, and you can be on it. Time is money. Let's just be honest. Time is money, and we want clients that are happy. But if we can eliminate all of the guesswork of the flooring, the walls, the windows, the major furniture pieces, and focus on the items that are personal to the client, and spend our time on those items and finding the really special things that make the room sing, again, you will have happy clients, and you will be happy because you have spent a ton less time researching things like hardwood floors. So we're going to add that today also as a bonus. So we have our core class, value of $11,000. We're going to add an additional class to that for you that you get to choose with a value of $2,500. You get your online 3-month membership for $147, and you get our pre-designed room in a box, which is a $14.99 value. So we have a total value today of $15,146. And then today, because you have spent time with us and because you have listened to the rambling of this crazy designer lady, we are offering it for $9.97. So you get the webinar bundle, which is that's our core class, our additional class, the 3-month membership, and the room in a box. All for $9.97. And all you have to do is click the link on the side of the screen to sign up today and get started and get the first module delivered to your inbox. Some things that our students have said about working with us, the things that I like to highlight here on this page are that we removed the guesswork. There is a systematic formula to design, and we want to teach it to you. You shouldn't be guessing. It's not based on style, it's not based on taste. It is a systematic formula. And then you just inject your personal flair to that and your client's personal style to that. Easy to understand. And one of my favorite here is that I feel confident in my skills. And that's what I want for every person, that they would complete their modules and feel confident to work with their clients. So again, just a quick recap of our classes. All the skills you need, none that you don't. We are not wasting your time. Time is money, time is precious, time is valuable. We want you to have a career where you can be efficient and effective with your clients so that you can also spend time doing the things that you love. Hopefully some of that is design too. I want you to love design, but I don't want to waste your time, again, working on things that you will never use in your design career. So the skills you need, none you don't, and answers to all of your questions. That's my personal guarantee, is I will answer your questions. You can ask me anything day or night, and my students will tell you that I will always answer. I never want you to doubt yourself or feel confused. So you can always answer, or you can always ask us. We will always answer you. And then I'll just leave you with this quick thought, which kind of goes back to my why design, why choose this career. So what you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. So you can make a difference in your family, you can make a difference in the lives of other families, you can make a difference in communities. And the great thing about design is you don't have to choose just one of those things. You can make a difference in the lives of everyone that interacts in every project that you touch. And I'm telling you, there's no greater feeling than being proud of your work. I knew I loved my job. I knew I loved design, but I can't tell you how much more I loved my job when my kids said, hey, that's my mom's project. She did that. It's pretty amazing. It's great. I love this community. If you have questions, email us. That's also on the side. Call us. We are here for you. We want to see you succeed at this. It doesn't have to be a mysterious career. It is accessible for everyone. And honestly, it's fun. It's a fun career. The fact that people pay us, to make their homes beautiful is it's pretty great. Not gonna lie, it's great. So if we can help you make that your reality, please reach out, let us know, click the link, sign up today, and then we look forward to talking with you in your very first module.